You guys recognize this? See that sign there and this long driveway leading down to this overlook? Do you know what this means? It's a sometimes vlog! It's a vlog that happens sometimes. Still pretty sore. That hurt a little bit. But it's the sometimes vlog. Welcome back, everybody. Today, we're at, well, tonight. It's actually kind of the midnight vlog right now. I'm standing where Marty McFly skateboarded down, propped up his skateboard right here, and looked down at Doc Brown's truck, 24-hour scientific services, which was parked just beneath this light pole here, and where the DeLorean time machine was first revealed to mankind in 1985. Although technically that scene, I believe, was filmed in October of 1984. Could be wrong about that. Some nerds are going to be angry with me if I am. I'm a pretty big Back to the Future nerd, but I'm also a little bit tired, and there's a lot to tell you. Here it is, the Twin Pines Mall, known at the end of the film as Marty runs back down this hill. It's the Lone Pine Mall because, of course, back in 1955, Marty McFly ran over one of the two pines in front of the fence at Old Man Peabody's house. Old Man Peabody owned all of this. I had this crazy idea about breeding pine trees. And the reason I'm here is I have a tradition. Of course, you know I wrecked my Mustang, my 2006 Ford Mustang, my favoriteest car of all the cars I've ever owned. It was all custom and cool and had cool stuff in it, and it was totaled, gone, disaster. So I've been looking at cars all day long in people's driveways. Unfortunately, did not manage to get a car from someone's driveway today. Fortunately, I did manage to get a Mustang, and there it is. Was that not big enough? Was that not big enough of a reveal? How about I do Adam the Woo style? Pretty close, right? That's pretty close. There it is, a Mustang. You see what happened was, we were down looking at all these people's cars. I had a lot in my car. I had dual exhaust added, cold air intake added, all this stuff on my other car, which increased the fuel efficiency of the vehicle, rendering it not a ridiculous choice to drive around. I got over 30 miles per gallon on the highway. So as we're looking at all these other 06s, 07s, 05s, Mustangs, man, there's going to be all kinds of maintenance we don't know. You can't predict. You're buying a car to someone's driveway. You don't know whether the car is good or bad. It's going to cost some money to get it inspected. There's going to be maintenance problems. I really want to get it for a low price. I have a little money left over to fix it up. Blah, 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 blah. Plus, it didn't have those aftermarket parts on it, so it wasn't going to be as fuel efficient. All this stuff. There was all these reasons. It was kind of a bummer. So my dad and I drove all the way down almost to San Diego to Carlsbad, California to take a look, just on the off chance, at a vehicle slightly above my price range. This 2011 Ford Mustang. Of course, the major difference between anything 05 to 09 and 2010 to 2014, the visual difference is the rear end. She got a little bit of junk in the trunk down here, so the rear end looks a little more tilty than the other one. It's not my favorite kind of spoiler. There's no crazy tint on the windows like mine had. Of course, there's no louvers now. The antenna's in the rear instead of the front, and it has a sunroof. So a couple of differences. The engine, of course, is totally different, totally redesigned. It had dual exhaust stock. It had just as much horsepower as my car did with all those additions on it, stock, and maybe best of all, in my case, in this car's case, gets just as good a fuel efficiency as my vehicle did with all the aftermarket parts. What am I saying was my vehicle did? Because this is now my vehicle. How did I afford this vehicle? Well, I have never financed anything in my life. As a matter of fact, when I was married, we did everything through my wife's credit. By the way, let's just take a look at the Back to the Future. I just wanted you to look at this Back to the Future filming location, which will also... Oh! It's the Libyans! They found me. I don't know how they found me. Run for it, Marty! Who? Who do you think? It's the Libyans! Right? Anyway, look at that. So when I was married, we did everything through my wife's name. We did everything on my wife's credit, and we worked our way up the credit scale so that she had really good credit. And now, of course, that I'm gone from being married, I was left with nothing in the way of credit. Absolutely no credit. Not bad credit. I've never screwed up my credit. just none credit. We did everything through her name, and as we did it and she got better and better credit, it was like, well, it doesn't really make sense for both of us to be on this thing. We'll get a better interest rate. Well, then I was cast into the shadows alone with no credit. So I thought, there's no way I can afford anything above my budget of $9,000, really. But this one was certified, it's inspected, it still had a warranty left on it. So it was worth taking a look at the car. Man, there's a lot of screeching going on over there. So we went down, we took a look, checked out the financing, and it turned out that somehow magically, even though I can't get a credit card to save my life because I can't prove 2 years of income, etc., being self-employed and all that kind of stuff, not having a regular normal. Look at these guys are doing donuts and having all kinds of fun over there. I hope they don't wreck their car. It's easier than you'd think. Maybe I'll go join them afterwards, right? Anyway, so I was able to be financed at 2.9% interest for the rest of it. I hate debt. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I've always lived with a hatred of owing people anything. In terms of money and not being able to pay or anything like that, I feel really terrible about receiving anything like that or having anything hanging over my head or payments or anything like that. But having no credit and it being so difficult to get a credit card and everything else, I had to take, it was smarter to take the opportunity to be financed at a very low interest rate for someone with no credit, make some payments, and in the process purchase the extended warranty, because let's face it, the last car that I bought, as much as I loved her, now that she's gone, because I always look on the bright side of things, Q4P, Quest for Positivity, I didn't want to say while I had her that she was a lemon, but let's just put it this way, when it was all said and done and she's gone, she's total, she's a cube now, so we can safely talk about her. She had a little bit of bad juju, did she not? So she kept breaking down. There was a lot mechanically unsound with the vehicle that had to be slowly built up. By the time it was all said and done, I probably spent $15,000 on that car. And this car was $15,000 roughly. And this car has about a lot of warranty on it now with the extended warranty. So this was a much smarter choice. Have to be grown up sometime and make a grown up decision to have some kind of credit, make some kind of payment. It's a very small, low payment because I was able to put so much down because there's so much left over from the other car. So that I'd have something mechanically sound and sound enough, mostly because I got to travel around and do videos. Sometimes there's all kinds of stuff to travel to, go to the San Francisco Bay Area, go to Arizona, go to these different places. And it just made a lot more sense to not have the bad juju from the last car, to not end up far away, broken down, to have the maintenance and the warranty on the vehicle. So I made a grown-up decision while buying my very juvenile car. And a Mustang restored. So as the Japanese would put it, I saved face to myself in that I didn't go from Mustang to something that I didn't want. Mustang to Mustang. We were intending to have, to possibly do some kind of co-signing thing or whatever because I had no credit, but it just turned out that the good folks down at, what was it called? Ken Grody Ford in Carlsbad, which is weird because there's a Ken Grody Ford in Buena Park I've driven past my entire life, so it's kind of weird that there's another one in Carlsbad. Never would have expected that. We're able to work it out to get me a really pretty good interest rate on this vehicle. So I didn't have to pay for it all in cash. I only ended up financing a tiny bit of it. Put in every dollar that I had. I financed just a tiny bit of it, but just enough to sort of build some kind of credit, which is an adult decision. Although I still don't like it. If I find a bundle of cash, I'm going to pay that sucker off early. But you have to pay a certain amount of time, I think, to build. I don't really understand credit. I just understand that I don't want to have any debt. Anyway, so here it is. 2011 Ford Mustang. That sounds so weird. That sounds way too new. So possibly close to, if not the newest car I've ever owned. For a little while, my ex-wife had a 2011 Kia. So it's basically the same thing. It was never my car, though. So here we go. 2011 Ford Mustang, also black, just like the last one. No crazy tint in the rear windows, no rear louvers, but otherwise, 100% probably, well, 1,000% more mechanically sound. It's missing the crazy subwoofer and all that stuff in the back, but let's be honest, I didn't need that. And as a matter of fact, all that subwoofer stuff and extra stereo stuff in my last car was in there when I bought it. I would have never put that on myself. Dual exhaust comes stock. Not a cold air intake, but it already gets an estimated 26 city, 31 highway. So already a very fuel efficient car for my purposes. There's no Prius, but I can't see me in a Prius. Can you? So there you go. A new Live Fast, Die car. Now I named the last car after B.B. King's guitar. B.B. King has owned many, many, many black Gibson guitars, which he always names Lucille. That's where the name came from. And so because I have another black Mustang, it may be that this must be named Lucille number 2. I'm still thinking about it. I don't want the curse of the last car to fall over on this car, although I don't really believe in that stuff. I'm not really that superstitious, only I am. I get superstitious, but I don't logically believe in it. But there's something about your instincts that goes, I'm a little bit superstitious here. It's human nature. I don't think we can help it. But there you go. Parked right under F2, just where I revealed the last Mustang when I got it. Hopefully, the second time, in this case, will be the charm with the 2011 Ford Mustang. If you haven't seen previous Sometimes vlogs here, or you haven't seen much of the Twin Pines Mall in this video and you're slightly disappointed because I'm running a little longer than I want to. I'm very tired from this long day of looking at many, many people's cars and then finally going to the car dealerships. Man, when they get you in that finance office too, they try to sell you all kinds of things you don't need. Well, in this case, I did need it. So we did purchase the extended warranty. But they really suck the life out of you. And as soon as anyone starts talking numbers and math, my brain just goes somewhere else. I can't do it. If it doesn't have narrative, I can't follow it. I'm not very mathematical. I'm like the anti-Rain Man in that sense. I'm better at everything else, and when it comes to math, I am deficient completely. So anyway, that whole process goes along. Thank God for my father, who is awesome. My dad is super, super awesome. I don't know that he'll ever be on camera. He's a little camera shy. We'll leave him alone. But he's super cool, so he's able to navigate it with his very much more mathematical brain. We got it all taken care of. Oh, so I was saying, so if you want to see more of the Back to the Future Twin Pines Mall, go over to youtube.com/AdamTheWoo, where Adam and I filmed a whole Back to the Future filming locations video a couple of years ago now for part 1. We also did part 2. We may or may not do part 3. Huh? So we show the mall, we show all the different spots like that, where the Fox photo booth was, the DeLorean time machine. Now Doc's truck stood about here, so the DeLorean time machine came down and was revealed about here. Marty is looking at it. You built a time machine out of a DeLorean? The way I see it, I forget about a time machine. Why not do it with some style, right? So he gets in, Einstein goes around, Einstein goes back in time. Doc backed him all the way up to a pole, which you can't see because this giant truck is in the way. He comes down, shoo, chow, 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 chow. The famous scene with the tires burning and Marty and Doc are standing there. You disintegrated Einstein. Oh no. Send him into the future, 1 minute into the future to be exact. That happened right around here, in this area. Of course, then Marty, they put the car back, they do all the stuff. No, the sucker's electrical. Marty goes back in time, etc., etc., etc. Libyans, Doc being shot right over here. Beautiful spot. So we cover all that stuff, go into a lot more detail. I don't really have time to do that now. It's freezing to me at the moment here. And I've got to get this beautiful car home to my home because finally, after a week of looking, all kinds of stuff, lots of prayers from my mother and help of my father. Thank God for my family. I'm really blessed to have good parents. They're very cool. They're still very much a huge part of my life, and I love them. So I know not everybody gets along with their parents. Some parents are a little bit crazy. Some children are a little bit crazy. They don't get along. My parents and I get along actually very, very well. So thanks to their help, a lot of other suggestions and help from you guys. I tracked down a lot of the cars you guys posted and suggested and looked at. Just had to make a grown-up decision. I had to owe a little debt, which sucks because I am often very skint and tight for money. But it'll help in the long run. It's a pretty grown-up decision, but it's still a Mustang. So I'm still, you know, driving around my adolescent fantasy car, which is good, because I'm basically a giant child in a manish body, sorta. So anyway, go over to Adam the Woo's channel, check out the Back to the Future video. If you go way back in the Sometimes vlogs, there's my last car being revealed here in this thing. Oh, the other thing that's different about this car, and I'll show you the car again tomorrow, probably in the daytime, or sometime. You'll see more of this car, trust me, is the interior is sort of this tannish gray. I don't know what you call it. I think it's called stone when it comes to Ford. So the dashboard is very different. Look at the flux capacitor. This is what makes time travel possible. Which this is where the flux capacitor was revealed in Back to the Future. So without the crazy tint, things are a little bit different in the 2011s. My car was. Those are supposed to be up there down because I was pulling the trunk open. but the interior is a little lighter, and the reason for that is my last car was so dark once the tint was on it, once the louvers were on it, it was so dark it was impossible to see anything. If you drop something in the car, it was impossible at nighttime to see anything on the seats or anything. So this is good. The lighter interior is very helpful. Very, very good. Although, let me tell you guys something. Let's turn these lights on. I am very terrified staring at this. Because what hurt me in the last accident was this thing exploding in my face. It didn't hit my face, it stopped just before my face. But the entire time I drove this back all the way up from Carlsbad, it was about an hour drive back up to Anaheim, I was just staring at this like an eyeball staring at me. By the way, look at this. I love this about Mustangs. Hidden Mickey. See how the thing and the thing and the thing, Hidden Mickey? No? Well, you can see it on Instagram. I pointed out a lot of times with the last car. So I was glad to have a Hidden Mickey steering wheel back. But it's very nice. Super clean. The nicest car I have ever owned, because I now own this car. Not free and clear, but that's intentional this time. That part doesn't make me super comfortable, and I am super, super grateful. All of you guys were sending me prayers and good vibes and virtual, vicarious hugs. That's an Adamuism right there. Vicarious. Vicarious. Anyway, I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. You're the best. I am very sore. I am very tired. One thing, though, is restored. The car is better than the last car in a lot of ways. Hopefully we won't have the trouble that I had with the last car, so that an unreliable car meant that the last several months were very unproductive in terms of filming all the random land stuff that I wanted to film. So hopefully this will lead to better work, which is the most important part. It's the same car, kind of, in that it's a Mustang. I'm looking forward to this. I am very, very cautiously optimistic. Only cautious because I need to drive more cautiously. Not that I was at fault, really. I couldn't have done anything about the accident. It was one of those things. But I'm just driving more cautiously, mostly because I'm traumatized. And we're going to be cautiously optimistic and do a lot of random land adventuring in this vehicle, and sometimes vlog adventuring. I am not going to use the cell phone while I am driving, so the cell phone goes down now. But I had to reveal to you the new whip, as Roscoe Soul Train would put it. So here it is. The 2011 Ford Mustang Live Fast Die car. Blue Seal number 2, question mark? What's in a name? Well, would a rose by any other name smell as sweet? Probably would. So what is it a name? I don't know. Is it a good idea? Good idea, bad idea? Naming the car the same name as the last car. I leave it to you to answer. Okay, I'm gonna go. We'll look at the car more later. It's a nice car. I have a very nice car. If you let me go, I'll give you a ride in the car. What movie is that from? All right, guys, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take a picture of this from out there. So I'm gonna go back in the cold, 48 degrees, which is very cold for here. I know some of you are in really cold weather and thinking, you jerk, 48 degrees sounds lovely right now. I apologize. But for us California sissies, this is very cold. So I'm gonna get out, take a picture, put it on my Instagram at Justin Scard and my Twitter at Justin Scard. And not Live Fast Die Poor, but you'll see the car on the Live Fast Die Poor Instagram and Twitter at a later time. So thank you for joining me. Thanks for sitting with me in the dark. Guys, I'm almost 18 years old. It's not like I've never parked before. All right, I don't know what else to say. I'm feeling super grateful and super happy. More so than I can possibly show or express at this time, because I'm also feeling very tired, very sore, out of painkillers, very whiplashy. Going to the chiropractor tomorrow, so that's good. And I'll be at Tulare, California. By the way, at Tulare, is it Tulare? Tulare? Tulare is what I've always said. The T-U-L-A-R-E Sci-Fi Con on Saturday. I'm supposed to have a booth there. I don't know what I'm going to put at the booth other than my body and a whole bunch of stickers. I'm going to have a booth there, and I'm going to say hello to everyone who comes to say hello to me, although I may be wandering around filming, but it's totally fine. Come and say hi to me there. The proceeds go, a big portion of the proceeds go to benefit homeless children. There will be Disney-related guests there. There will be movie and TV show-related guests there. Comic book stuff, obviously. So come out there. If you live anywhere in California, in the Central Valley, come down to Tulare Sci-Fi Con. I will be there, no matter what. That was part of the reason for getting the car so fast, because I made a commitment to be there. I do not want to break any of my commitments, so I'm making a commitment to be at Tulare Sci-Fi Con. I needed a vehicle. I have a vehicle, so it's game on, no matter how sore I am. So come give me a hug. Tulare Sci-Fi Con. Saturday. All right, I gotta go. Yes, of course, November 5th, 1955. Hopefully, as I leave here, I will not be crashing into any photo developing booths in that general direction, although I may or may not drive my car through much of the path of the DeLorean time machine. And I may or may not drive it somewhat quickly, not too quickly, because I'm terrified of airbags now, forever. At what speed do you cross that the computer or whatever it is decides that when you hit something the airbag comes out? How does that work? I have no idea. Whatever that speed is, probably 5 miles an hour, I'm just going to have to go under it for the rest of my life because that thing hurts. Okay, I'm a little scared, but I'll get over it. All right, I love you guys. Thank you so much for being kind and being friendly. Tomorrow, more wackiness. Tomorrow, wackiness will resume. First, I had to get some means of transportation to get me to the wackiness. We've already covered that. I'm just repeating myself now. It's because I'm tired. I gotta go. I love you. Bye.